little close to the thing.
Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Our House 21. It's time for a quick update, and I promise this time it really will be quick. All right, so in front of you, you'll see that I've got some cat packs laid out. So I've been doing a lot of testing lately, trying to collect some data with my data logging ESCs. Here you got Slade with my Mamba Monster X. We got Dizzy who has a Mamba XLX, and I also have Surly the XL1 that has another Mamba Monster X. So I've been collecting a lot of data with my cat packs in different configurations, and I've been getting pretty good results. I'm pretty impressed. I'm pretty happy with the ripple voltage suppression that I've been seeing. But one thing I want to point out to you guys is the fact that cat packs do burn out. The deal is, these guys, think about a cat pack as being sort of a shield or a piece of bulletproof glass for your RC. Because when you are pushing several hundred amps, and even like a Mamba Monster 2 can push over 200 amps in the right situations. But if you're pushing 200 amps through your car under like a speed run or a drag race configuration, that's brutal. That is really brutal. I mean, that's a lot of current. And these ESCs, they can handle it, but they need to have nice clean power in order to do that. And even though a lot of batteries, the LiPos, they have their C ratings of 40C, 50C, 100C, a lot of battery makers just, I hate to say it like this, but a lot of them flat out lie on what the C rating of that battery really is. Because if you think about it, if you've got a 5,000 milliamp hour 100C battery, that's saying that that one battery is capable of dishing out 500 amps. That's enough to start a car, like start a real car, full size in your driveway car. That is an insane amount of power for something that'll hold in your hand. Now, some batteries actually will do that, but a lot of batteries that say they will, won't. Or really what's going to happen is when you start to really pull a very large amount of current out of them, the voltage is going to sag severely, and that's going to kind of be self-limiting. But the point is that massive amount of voltage sag you're going to get when you're pulling very large amounts of current out of batteries that are overrated, that's going to cause a lot of ripple voltage to come into your system. Okay guys, so I decided to grab a piece of paper to draw this out. But if you have your system voltage going over time, so let's say you're running 6S, that's 25 volts. Now, if you've got and time is going on in this direction. So if you've got no load on your system, you're gonna have nice flat voltage. But as soon as a power pulse hits your system, you're gonna have a dip. And that pulse is going to release and the voltage is gonna come back up. And that's gonna happen again and again and again. This is pretty much what ripple voltage is. You get a big spike of current, which pulls your voltage down and it pulls back up. And that causes your voltage to vary around. Castle says that you want to keep this ripple voltage less than 20%. 20% of 20% of 25 volts is about a 5 volt swing. Okay? So that says your voltage is actually going back and forth between 25 volts and 5 volts. And now your ESC has to take those big swings and convert that into go to make your car move. What these cat packs do is actually produce a counter voltage. So they actually, when the voltage starts to drop down, they kick in and they basically smooth out this whole thing. So instead of seeing a 5 volt variation, you could see a variation as low as, like Castle really recommends like 10%. So that'd be like 2.5 volts. For my car, Dizzy, using a Mamba XLX ESC, which already has a ridiculous amount of capacitors on board, and a custom version of one of these guys, a 12 capacitor cap pack, I saw a reduction of ripple to just about just over 1 volt. So we're talking about less than 5% ripple. Now what that means is that the power that gets to the speed controller is nice and clean, and you get cleaner power. But the process of creating this counter voltage produces heat inside the capacitors. Capacitors have a property called ESR, equivalent series resistance. So basically what that means is that when they start to produce power inside it, or they start to flow voltage to try to counter the voltage or to counter the changes in the voltage, they produce a little bit of heat inside. That heat can build up inside the capacitors, and that can cause them to fail. The harder you push your power system, so the crazier your setup and the more power that you're pushing, the harder these cap packs have to work. So if you're just going out doing some parking lot bashing and barely dipping into your system, and you just want something to give you a little bit extra boost off the line, your cap pack might last forever. If you're consistently trying to do drag pulls, 100, 120, 150 mile an hour runs, or crazy drifting, bashing, or all kind of insane stuff that a lot of us guys do, these caps are getting a workout, and eventually they will probably fail. And it's not just my caps, it's all the big guys. Now what I try to do to fight this is I try to over design these things. And my meter's going to shut off. So I try to over design these things. So even though a 6S system's only at 25 volts, you can see I use 35 volt capacitors for here to try to get some extra margin. For the guys who are running really big power systems, I've been actually recommending that they step up to these guys, which, if you can read on here, I call these 12S caps really been recommending to guys who are running like the big 8S setups, but these are 63 volt caps. 8S is only at about 33, 34 volts. So these are rated for twice the voltage that the system is actually set up to do. And also, I mean, you just see, like, I don't just use 1 or 2 or 3 caps. Now this is an 8 capacitor pack. And the reason why I do this is because I want to have redundancy, meaning if one of these things dies on you, I don't want the system to be completely unprotected. So I try to build these guys so that you can actually have some of these guys fail, but your system still has some protection. So basically your bulletproof glass doesn't shatter after one shot. The problem with doing that is that, if you just take a cap like this and you wire it to your system, you really don't have a way of telling if the cap pack is died. And, you don't know if you are one bullet away from having your protection break or if you're just fine. So one of the things that you can do, and this is why I started to wire up my quick interconnects, is you can set yourself up like I have with Dean's connectors. So you see here, I've got my Rustler and I've got my little cap pack connector here, and I can just quickly just pop this guy off. And if I blow a cap pack, I can just swap in a new one. Or I could take a cap pack that I've just run and I can hook it up to a scope or a meter like this one right here, and I'll just do a real-time test. Okay, you can see I just tested this pack out and it's showing 3950 microfarads, which is actually a little bit more than what the rated value of this pack is. So, but as I beat on this thing, I fully expect that, as these guys do their job and protect me run after run after run, I'm probably going to get some burnout, and that's just how they wear. It's kind of like tires, so just like you can't expect to run one set of tires forever, you pretty much any cap pack that you put into your system that's doing its job is probably going to burn out at some point. Now, I tried to fight that. Like I said, I overrated these guys, and I tried to give them a lot of margin so that they can take some extra abuse. but I'm stepping up my game a little bit. So, you know, so I'm actually in the process of working on a 3rd generation. These are my 2nd generation packs. So there's been a lot of design refinements that you might not necessarily see just by looking at these things that went into coming up with these guys. But I'm trying to step that up a little bit, and I'm working on Gen 3 prototypes. I mean, this isn't for sale. This is for my own personal stash. This is a 12 capacitor pack, but you see I changed vendors. So these guys are Kemet, very nice name brand caps. You know, they've got nice low ESR. So they should stay cooler as they're doing their job. They should be more reliable. They should give enhanced performance. So I still have some of the Gen 2s. I'm going to be selling those guys off, but once I'm out of stock of these, then we'll start transitioning into making Gen 3s. And I'm also leaning towards equipping the Gen 3 packs with Dean's connectors like I have on these, so that you can quick disconnect them. So if you do have a pack burnout, you can swap it out, or you can do testing of your own packs. So you can, if you don't have a tester, you know, you can actually pick up a little device similar to this one on Amazon for about 20 bucks. So they're not that expensive. But if you think about it, if you're a guy who's out there doing hardcore speed runs, and you've got batteries that cost you almost $100 each, you know, and you've got tires that cost you $100 a set, you can spend 20 bucks and buy yourself something that you can check out your cat packs. Just saying. Oh, but let's say that you don't have a meter like this. How do you know that your cat pack is blown? So I've had some conversations with some guys, and it looks like if one of these cat packs does blow, then you might start to experience some cogging in your system. So if you have a cat pack in and your car starts to see some abnormal behavior, some cogging, some just strangeness, there's a chance that your cat pack might have blown on you. But the cat pack blew because you were punishing it. And so it blew because it was protecting your system. So it's kind of the way to think about it, like I said, like bulletproof glass or a shield. A shield, if it takes too many arrows, is going to fail. So if this thing's blocked too many bullets, you know, then it just basically took a bullet for your system. So if it does fail, let me know, and I'll work with you. I'll get you back up and running. You know, so overall, most of the feedback I've been getting about these cat packs have been pretty glowing, you know, and I take that to heart. I really appreciate you guys taking a chance on my product. You know, I'm trying to step the game up. I'm trying to help you guys by providing some quality products that you can depend on. But if you have an issue, let me know, and we'll talk about it, and I'll see what I can do to make it right. All right, guys. So RHouse21 signing out. Remember the mantra: fly, fix, fly, break it, fix it, and do it all over again. And if you do break something, let me know so I can help you fix it. All right, guys. And don't forget to check me out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and all the other social media out there. And again, if you do a lot of breaking, you got to do a lot of fixing. So if you break it, let me know so I can help you fix it, and then we can try it again together. All right, guys. So like I said, I'm still prototyping in Gen 3, so I've got some of these guys out to some guys in the community so that, you know, they can give me some test data. I can see how they're performing with their ESCs. Once I'm confident in them, I'll be switching over. So, but I still have faith that the Gen 2s, you know, these guys, these are what I run in my cars, and I'm getting good results. All right, guys, RHouse21 signing out. Peace.